today's session is on Google Classroom. It's just a review over Google Classroom, but I'm also going to be showing you how to create categories and what it looks like from the student's point of view and from the teacher's point of view. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, um, and I'll go ahead and put the sign in because I saw a few more people pop in. There it is. So there's the sign in one last time, and sent. So I'm going to go back here to my classroom, and I was talking to a teacher and she was asking me some questions about the categories, and that's over here in the settings button. I was like, well, yeah, you can definitely add categories, and I'm kind of glad we had this discussion and she showed me this, and I was like, I need to show this to all the other teachers. So if you scroll down all the way down here to the grading part, you can toggle this on after you add. Um, it's on default to no overall grade, but if you put total points, you can have this button so that you can show overall grade to the students. And if you want, you can also do it weighted by category, but it's going to average all three categories or however many categories that you have. So total points is probably better. And then you can add your different categories over here. So you just simply click the category and just add another one, and then it's there, and then you just save it. So again, that's inside the settings toggle button.
Anita, you're not sharing. All we see is your face.
It says I'm sharing.
Yes, she is. I can see you.
I can see you. I can see your screen.
Okay.
I see you.
Try to refresh your screen.
Also, if you're on a mobile, you can swipe over until you see it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And let's see. Okay, so back over here, and then you scroll down and then hit save, and then it'll save these categories for you. So what does it look like to you as a teacher? Well, when you're in grades, it's going to show it up here in these little boxes. So after you create an assignment, it's going to show you what category you put it in, and it won't do it for all the ones that you've had previous, but all the new assignments that you create, it will show the category that you put. It would be nice, that we talked about, if you could separate these so that you can have those separated, but I could not figure out a way to do that. So they are just going to be throughout here, random, whenever you put a grade in. It does show the overall grade here for your class average. I only have 2 students here, but it does show the grades here. So for your students, if they go in, and let me go back out here. So if they go to their classwork and they go to view your work, they'll be able to see their average. This student is a very naughty student and never does their work, but they do have two assignments done. So there's this one's a 90, and then this one down here that's 100. And so it does show the average for that student. They can also see what is assigned, what has been returned, and there's only 2 that have been done and returned to the student. So if you are not returning those assignments back to them, it will not show up yet, and it won't be averaged into this until you return that assignment back to them. They can also look at their missing assignments, things like that, in that section. So it does show here as well, after you put the categories, the category, whatever you named it as, ELA, science, history, etc. And that is how you add categories, and that's what it looks like for the teachers in the gradebook and for the students in their grades. All right. And I'm going to open it up to questions because I know there's a lot of teachers that are new to Google Classroom and may have missed my previous session on Google Classroom. So I'm going to check the chat, or if you're not shy, you can unmute yourself and ask.
So Anita, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So maybe, I know that there's no way of making like first quarter and second quarter on Google Classroom. Because it just makes it all one thing. But maybe could you make a category be a quarter? I'm just wondering out loud because it's the first time I heard about quarters, but I'm thinking of ways to use it.
So in here, if you want to, I mean, you can name the category whatever you want to name it. So if you do want to name it first 9 weeks or first quarter, yeah, that's up to you. So anytime you go into classwork to create an assignment and you want it to be in that first 9 weeks, or now our second 9 weeks, you would just simply put it in there. And so at least you have those that are, that they're in that second 9 weeks. So yes, you can categorize it that way.
And what were you saying about assignments? You can't do assignments in the past. Could you just go back to assignment and just kind of, is it too late? Or could you, what about those? Since I have like 3 or 4 assignments already, and could you go back and do them or not? I don't know. Just pick go back to those assignments, put the category in.
Yes, I can. So I just went to the little 3 dots and went to edit and put in first 9 weeks and then saved it. And it shows it right here. So yes, you can.
Thanks. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Oops. Wrong button. Get rid of this one because we don't need that one anymore. So another thing was organizing, because I know a lot of the teachers were trying to either archive or get rid of a lot of the assignments from the first 9 weeks. There is no way to archive it or put it in a folder. You can delete things. We really don't recommend deleting things unless you're absolutely sure that you're not going to need that assignment or the grades that are in there. But if you want to kind of put it out of the way, what we've done here, and you can see this topic was created first 9 weeks, and you do that by going to create and then just create that topic right here and just name it first 9 weeks. And so when I go down here, you can see that there's quite a few over here. And if I scroll back up, it's not going to let me go back up. If I go down here, and all these are from the first 9 weeks, I can drag them down, and then I can get rid of these topics if I don't need them. If it is a topic I'm going to need, then I can just leave it in there. And you do have to do these one at a time, an assignment at a time. But if it's material that you know you're going to keep, maybe you can drag that to your materials topic and then keep it at the top if you want to. You can drag that topic all the way up to the top.
So I have a question. If you delete, I mean, you might have already answered, but if you delete the topic, will it delete all of the assignments in that topic? Is that why you're moving them?
No. So if you delete the topic, it won't delete the assignments. So it'll just delete the topic, and those assignments will just go up here somewhere.
Okay.
So if you do want the topics to stay, oops, get back down there. It's not trying to refresh it, I guess. There we go. So that last one was being a little stubborn. And delete. But no, it won't delete all of these in here. So even if I go in here and try to delete just the topic, it's just going to keep all, oops, did I lie?
And once that's organized, the kids will see it in that order too, like the topic orders.
Yeah, it is. But now all my topics are deleted. So so now I got to do it all over again. But all of these, I would just have to move them down again. So yes, whatever order you put them in, that's the order that the students will see them in. So if I go back over here and refresh his page, you can see that now that's all. Oops, go to.
Anita, we have a couple questions in the chat.
All right, thank you. You show how I did that average grade for the students or for the teacher side?
I think for the categories, what they're asking, how to do categories again, maybe?
I was wondering how you made it to where when the students went in, they can see their average grade for the class.
Oh,
I
okay.
missed the first part, sorry. Thank you.
So it starts in the teachers. I think I'm in the student. So it starts in the teacher side. So notice this student only has 3 assignments graded and turned in, and only 2 of them have been returned back to that student, which is this 90 here and this 100 over here. So it's only averaging those 2 assignments because I'm not a very good teacher and he's not a very good student. So he only has a 95. But on his side, in his classwork, he has that grade plus the 100, and so it's averaging those 2 grades only the ones that are returned and graded and returned back to him. So that's how that is averaged to him. If there's more grades in here that need to be, I guess, completed, finished, and returned back to that student, then after I grade those and return to him, so if I go into something that needs to be graded and I don't know, let me just pick something that he may have turned in. So this one, and so if I click it and return it and say that it's finished, this one will now get averaged back into his grade 2. So if I refresh that one. So now that assignment is done. It's done late, but it is because I returned it back to him. That grade is now averaged into his grade as well. So you do have to make sure that you are returning those so that the student sees those grades averaged all together. Does that make sense?
Yes, I was wondering, you remember how you turned on you said turn on the toggle bar so that how did you get to that part?
So that's in your settings right here. So the one at the top, not the one in the hamburger bar. Go to the one at the top and then scroll all the way down. And then after you change this from no overall grade to total points, then this little toggle will be able to come on. So if I take this off, you won't be able to toggle this on. So you have to choose one of these, either total points or weighted by category, and then you can toggle the show overall grade to students on. And the other question was, the class drive folder. So that class drive folder in the teacher's side takes you to your Google Drive that has all the assignments that you've created for your students. So if I click on that, it takes me to my drive, and most of my stuff is in the trash because it's all usually demos or sample that I get show teachers. So a lot of those are in here. They're in the trash, but because I dump stuff all the time. But that is the things that you put into your whatever assignments that you put in here. They're going to be put into a folder in your Google Drive as well. All right. Any other questions or something that you've come across in Google Classroom that you're not sure how to use, how to do, what is it for, you know, things like that.
Can you make folders in underneath topics? So like if I wanted to put everything in my first 9 weeks topic, but wanted to divide that, could I do that, or it's just by topic?
Just by topic. Yeah. I mean, we could keep suggesting to Google that teachers like folders, but right now it's just by topic.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? None in the chat. So if you don't have any other questions, just go back over here then. Sometimes you have to let me know if I don't hear it pop up in the chat. Just unmute your mic because I don't see that screen, and for some reason I don't always hear the chat little sound that it's in there.
I have a question.
Yes, go for it.
What's the best way for you to look at your classroom from a student point of view?
We've been giving out to this student right here, and there's actually, I think, 1 through 20. So Cave Student 1, Cave Student 2, Cave Student 3, and you can choose any of those numbers and use this account just like I'm doing right now, and you can assign things to this student. You can do work from this student to see if it is coming back like it's supposed to, things like that. And the password for that is CMS 2020 ! And that's capital CMS 2020 !
So do you enroll that as a student? Do you do it Cave Student 1 at carlsbadschools.net? How do you enroll that? How do you get that?
In people, you just go here and start typing in Cave Student, and you can see there's quite a few. Maybe we took off a bunch of them. So if I wanted this one right here, I can say Cave Student 5, and so that student's been invited. I would just get on my Chromebook and type in the student's name and the password and accept the join to this classroom. And then I would have that student enrolled in this class, and that way I can check on things like, oh no, I know that sent because Cave Student got it. So my students who say, oh, I didn't get that assignment, Miss Chavez, what do you mean? But that way kind of have like a proof, like a backup, like yes, it sent and it was able to open, so yes, you should have gotten it as well. All right, and I think that's all I had that was new or new-ish that we didn't go over in the first session. But if you missed the first session and you have some other questions, or if you've been using Google Classroom and you're not sure how to do something in here, it could be little things like putting your pictures in here. I've seen some pretty cute little pictures. I've even seen teachers put a GIF in their classroom, their Google Classroom, which is pretty neat. There's not any other questions.
How did you do your picture on your classroom? Did you just do like a
This-
Google slide or?
This one right here.
Yes.
So that one is done using a certain size in, let's see, in my drive, somewhere in here. And I can't remember the exact size. So I'll go in here and you can tell it's like, it is longer than your average one. So you go to page setup in your Google Slides and you want it to be 8.33 by 2.08. And that will give you this long picture here. And what I do to get so it stays proportionate is I just make the background really big and then I just kind of crop it so that it stays proportionate and it doesn't get stretched out whenever I put a background picture on here. And then of course I just use my Bitmojis, and these were our ex-coworker who went to Vermont and Stephen here, but yeah, that's how I did that one. And you can use just about any background that you want. Like I said, there's some teachers putting a GIF in theirs, which works surprisingly. So to put a GIF in, you would go to insert image and then by URL, and then you'd paste the URL of the GIF in here and then put insert. All right, so there's no questions. Janice says you had to save the slide as a PDF. I think I did. Yes. I don't remember. So yes, thank you, Jana, for reminding me. I think you do have to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I want to say you go to like download in the slide that you want as your little bar at the top of your classroom, and you click download, I think, and it lets you download it as a PDF or a JPEG.
Yes, so if you right click it and or maybe just, yeah, download and file, download, and then either PNG or JPEG. Yes, thank you, Jana, for reminding me that part because it's been
No
since the
problem.
beginning. And then you would just, when you go in here to upload photo, you could drag it or you could select it from your computer. And then you just find the picture that you want. And let's say I wanted that one this time. Upload it, and then there it is.
Is there a way to keep the minimum when you make a copy of the classwork for the students and it gets linked to our drives? Is there a way to keep that from clogging up the drive without me having to go in and move it specifically to a folder? So right now in my drive, if I click on my drive, there's about 82 copies from last week's assignments from each student. And I don't know how to, without individually dragging it into a folder that's labeled that week's assignment, to do that when I assign it.
Does
that make sense?
I'm not sure. So anyone who's been using Google Classroom can help with this one because I don't get students' work, how they're organizing their Google Drive and all the students' work. Any suggestions? No, I have a quiet room now.
I'm looking.
Where
What was
does
your question again?
I'm sorry.
What was your question again?
My question was, when assigning students assignments in Google Classroom, and you have to, it's an assignment that you have to make a copy for each student, and when they turn it in, it goes to the copy that they've made shows up in my drive. So I have 82 different copies from last week's Kami assignment instead of it just being in Google Classroom.
All of mine, when I do an assignment and they actually turn it in, it goes into a folder inside Classroom in my drive and then in each assignment. So it goes, you know, Classroom, my OWL class, and then whatever name of the assignment is, for example, this week's activities. So mine automatically puts them all in folders for each one.
Because so you're talking, she was talking about everything that gets returned to shared with me, right? To that folder?
Yes, ma'am.
But there's also on your drive in your Classroom folder.
Yes, and it's just all over the place. It doesn't go the way that she was just saying how it automatically goes into its own folder in Classroom in your drive. Mine doesn't do that, and I'm wondering if I missed a step when setting up my drive or linking it to my Classroom, because my drive is a hot mess right now with all the assignments turned in from all 5 classes.
That's happened to me too.
Do you see how that's lovely and organized? And I need my life to look like that right now in my drive, and it doesn't.
Yeah, and it should, and I'm not sure why it's not. And these are even from like last year and other classes that I've opened or created at one point. And I'm not sure why it's not just automatically going in, because yeah, it should. And so it's just dumping them like outside, like right
Yes,
here.
literally. And I do have folders set up. I have my Pear Deck folder, I have my Kami folder, I have my vocabulary folder, but for some reason when the students turn it in, it just goes rant. So it's just all stacked below when it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I
You
have
know where
I have the same problem.
You know when it goes in is when you make like a Google slide and then you have them turn it in and you don't necessarily use Kami, you just use a Google Slides. That's when it goes into that. That's when it goes to shared with me.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I know that shared
But
with
how
me
can-
is out of control, but if it's going into the her drive, like the my drive section, that is different. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that. Who am I talking to?
Jessica Hamill. I can go ahead and I was just going to YouTube it, but I'm just kind of YouTubed out trying to find videos to like make my life easier with Google Classroom, because that's how I've been managing so far.
Yeah.
I know the top row,
right.
the top row will always of your drive, that's always going to be the latest ones, but it should go in the
Yeah.
folders otherwise.
Yeah. No, yeah, the recent is fine, because then it's just whatever I was just looking at or whatever assignment I had just opened up to grade or what has been turned in for the day. But it's just like my general shared with me drive or my drive, it's just everything. And I'm having to like type into the search bar what exactly I'm looking for, because it has to navigate through each student's copy that they turned in. And I'm not sure why that happened. The first week or two, it was doing exactly what you're saying, going straight into the folder. And now it.
Yeah, mine's like kind of like that too. So I want the answer too. Well,
Did you
what I've
rename
done,
them? Did you rename them or move them? The
No,
classroom
ma'am.
folders? Okay.
Uh-uh. I
Right,
added
Jessica, I'll
more
look into
as I
that.
started creating more assignments that were differentiated, you know, with groups and whatnot. But like, I didn't change the way I didn't toggle over a different switch or anything like that. So I couldn't figure out if there was something I did or if maybe there was an update and I didn't see it. That's why I was asking.
All right, I'll look into it and see what I can come up with for you, so we can get that organized for
Thank
you.
I appreciate that.
So Anita, can you go into your Google Classroom and like where it has the assignments, where you go to classwork and then go to one of your assignments? So let me see. I just like I'm looking at mine too, and there's like a little folder. Maybe she can check her folder. Like if
There's a
like I have, I don't know. Can I share my screen? Trying to see if I can. I guess just click on one of the assignments, like that. No, like the actual assignment. Can you click on it, or I guess mine yours.
yeah.
No, not like.
Oh, it's
I don't
like
know.
the
Or yeah, right there. Okay, so that little folder next to the all,
mhm.
right there, that like click on that, and that shows like where it takes mine. It shows.
Mine went to nowhere.
Okay, so like when I click on that, it shows me the classroom folder that it takes me to. So maybe.
Oh, see, and I don't have, and it's not showing up. And so when I did exactly what you did, Anita. I walked it through and I opened up where she's telling you to go, and I don't have a folder there.
There's no folder at all, huh?
No, but I do in my drive. That's why I was wondering if somehow
Okay.
it got unlinked, the classroom in the drive.
Oh, I bet it did. Yeah.
Because if it's automatically doing it for you, Ms. Delgado, I'm sure it's supposed to for everyone. I may have just undid something when I was trying to
Yeah.
set up.
Probably just need to like rename a folder or something. Maybe it's going to your main page, and then if you just rename, I don't know. I can't see like where yours goes, but maybe you just need to create a folder.
Does it have it on the outside here?
No.
You don't have a folder on your dashboard?
You know what? I'm not sure. Let me look at my classes. I do have a folder. I have the little arrow, and then I have a folder, but it's my, oh. See, it has everything neatly put in those folders, but it doesn't have them in my drive. Like okay, I'll try and figure it out or see if there's something I can do, because it's driving me crazy. Because it has all my folders neatly placed, linear and in a graph and whatnot. And then I scroll past the first 4 assignments, and then there's all the copies again.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it too. So I'm
Thank
sure
you.
there's an explanation for it.
I hope.
Yeah. All right. So this has been fun. I still have a few more minutes, actually quite a bit of time. So I'm going to be here for a little while if you have any more questions. That was all the main things I had to show about Google Classroom, but I'm here for questions if you want to hang in. I just heard something. Relink the check-in, the sign-in sheet. Yes. I think I got rid of it earlier, so let me open it back up.
Well, I have a question. I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
real hard time finding. So when I do an assignment with forms, I have a hard time locating the Excel, sorry, Excel, the sheet, the Google sheet. I finally find it. I have to Google it by the name of the form, but I didn't know if there's a special place where they go, because I just can't find them without Googling it. I mean, Googling my drive to find the sheet. Is there a
Oh
special
no.
place where they are, where sheets are?
Other than looking in sheets, like when I go here and I go to sheets, not really. And you could look in your drive specifically for Sheets. If you go to,
Oh, you can have it just look for Sheets, because that's the problem is, okay, see that that helps a lot. That narrows it down, because here I'm looking for it. There's, that is actually very helpful. So
yeah.
thank
So
you.
if you look by type, you could look up any type of file that you have in your Google Drive. And
Anita,
yes.
have you heard anything? We're having a couple of problems with like kids getting onto classrooms, like even though the teacher's not opening it yet. Is that something that's with like the district, or is that something that the teachers are doing?
They're in their
The kids
Their
can
Google
come onto the
Classroom?
meeting before the kids are coming into the meeting without the teacher.
That should be blocked. Are they like teachers' kids that are using their
No, there's
parent?
like
No?
Friday, we told some kids that not to get on, because of we were passing out candies and stuff in the report cards, and they were still getting on. So one parent texted the teacher and said, "Hey, all the kids are on there, nobody's there." And so, and that hadn't changed anything. So I wondered if it's something, or have you heard other teachers complain about it?
No, I haven't. Are they using the Meet link in the classroom? Is that
Yeah.
they are?
That's what the kids are getting on with.
All right. I'll look into the settings, but that should have been changed a while back so
Yeah,
that
I
they
think when
didn't do it.
when we added that other box where it has the triangle and all that stuff, I think that's when that started happening.
Oh, so I wonder if it has to be reset.
Just look at it, please.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids can't get in before I'm in now, but they could before, like at the first 2 or 3 weeks of school, and then after
Yeah.
that they couldn't get in.
Yeah, but this was happening last Friday, so
That's strange.
Huh. Yeah, we'll take a look at it and make sure.
okay. Thank you.
You could also always change the Meet link in here. If it's happening, maybe I don't know, if you have older kids that they've learned how to like do some hacking, I don't know. But if you click on that settings toggle again, you can reset this and just right here. So it'll reset that Meet link, and you could always make it invisible to students after school hours or whatever, and you can make it visible during the school hours. Having to remember to do that every single day, it's kind of a pain, but maybe just resetting it so that those kids don't save that link, but really they shouldn't be able to get in with the student account if the teacher's not in there. So I'm not sure what happened there, but we'll look into it.
Well, I think if you leave, and they'll still be there if you leave, and so, but they can't get in. Usually they can't. I mean, for me, they can't get in before I get in. But if I leave and I don't X them all out, they can still be in there. So I don't know if that might have happened, or maybe because I don't know. But I'm just saying that anyway.
So if they just left the link on the whole time,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. If the link was on the whole time, the kids could go in and stay there without a teacher, even though the teacher wasn't there. But the teacher would have to open it first. So maybe that link was open for some weird
Yeah,
reason.
like if my kids don't push the end call button, then they'll stay logged on even if they turn the iPad off, and they'll stay logged on. So like the next time, like if I don't stop recording, it'll just record until they completely log off. So you have to be careful with that. I do have a question on that note. Like if I X them out, like if I kick them out of the meeting, does that mean they're like gone forever, or just for that?
No,
For that meet.
No, they can come back in. I've had to do that a couple times.
well, when class is over for me, I say goodbye, and sometimes there's a kid or two still on there, but if class is over, I just X them, I kick them out so that they're not on there when I leave, just to make sure that they're not on there after I leave.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was going to kick them off forever and they wouldn't be able to use that link again, or if I don't know. I have another question though.
Yes.
So, like if I wanted to download, like they upload pictures of their work for preschool, like if I asked them to do something, like build me something with blocks, and I wanted to download all of their pictures, is there a way to download all of them together, like for an assignment?
If they're on Classroom and turned in, they're already in your drive in a folder.
All the pictures together, like for that assignment?
Mm-hmm. They'll be in separate files, but they'll be there.
Okay. So there's no way I have them together on that like same file where I could just get all of them at once?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look into that. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions on Google Drive, Google Classroom? Kind of went on both ends there, so that's pretty neat.
Well, maybe I would like to know what teachers are using the most in Google Classroom for their assignments. What do they love? I think that would be cool to find out, like what's your favorites? Because some of them are kind of like great, they're fun, but they're not that useful. Or do you just use a variety of them? I mean, I have a couple of favorites, but I want to know what other people's favorites are.
Well, how about you, Star? What are your favorites?
Well, I like Screencastify a lot, actually, because it's super useful because I can explain stuff to the kids. And then sometimes I just make a Screencastify and just email it to them to explain something to them. And so there's a free version and it gives you 5 minutes of time. That's usually enough. I went ahead and paid for it, but just because I use it so much. But I really like Screencastify for that. And then I do like Edpuzzle because the kids like it. And so I'm able to take any video and put questions on it. And then the score, you can make the score come straight to your Google Classroom. And the other one I just started because you guys, I forgot someone had mentioned it, but I had a lot of fun with Flipgrid. It's the first time I did it, and I just gave them 15 seconds to name something boring about themselves, and because a lot of times they want to, and it's funny because everything they said was actually interesting, and then you can share all of theirs like in one button that all goes together, and so they can all see each other's. And it's funny because there's so many of them looking at each other's things, what's something boring about them. But those are 3 that I've really enjoyed. And then there's the other thing that I have liked that I didn't know about was, on Google Slides. For the longest time, I was trying to figure out how do you assess on Pear Deck because I just didn't get it. But then I saw how you change it into a spreadsheet, and then you can use, there's a grading program that you can use. I haven't used the grading program, but once I put it on the spreadsheet, I'm like, oh, why didn't I know this before? And because it's a lot easier than just looking at each. I was looking at each Pear Deck of each student's Pear Deck.
Oh, yeah. Did you use Flubberoo?
And then putting it in a Google sheet helped a whole lot because I could just look at the whole thing instead of each Pear Deck. That's what I was doing before. I didn't even, you just learn as you go, I guess. But anyway.
All right. I'm glad
Sorry.
it was all working for you. No, that's awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to stop presenting unless anyone else needs me to go back to Google Classroom. And I'll be here for just a few more minutes. But thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Anita.
Gracias. Gracias, Anita.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Anita.
You're welcome.
Anita, can you stay a little bit for one
Yes,
question?
ma'am.
Yeah, where is it?